Get ready.
This is the voice of Wayne America.
Lighten up, Francis.
With your host,
Hi-ho, Kermit the Frog here.
Mike Carnes.
How do you measure yourself with other golfers?
By height.
Only at WayneAmerica.com.
The supernova's gonna kill us all.
Okay, this guy is the real zero, that's true. Let's just think back when you guys were freshmen, huh?
.com.
Greetings from Wayne America. This is the Voice of Wayne America podcast, an exclusive here on WayneAmerica.com. I'm your host, Mike Carnes, and this is an online program where we sit down with somebody who has some kind of a connection to Wayne, Nebraska, whether it's a local resident, former resident, or somebody with some kind of tie to the community, and we talk about their area of interest and how it ties in with the best town in Nebraska, if not all of America, and of course, that is right here in Wayne America. And with me on the program this week is the guy who's the, you could call him the economic development guru of Wayne. He's got a lot going on and has his hand in a lot of activities that involve the business community and helping develop new business and help out existing businesses here in Wayne America. And that, of course, is Wes Blecke, the Executive Director of the Wayne Area Economic Development and the Wayne Chamber of Commerce. And Wes, I guess to start off with, you've been around the area for a long time. I think you grew up in Wakefield and have been a part of this operation for well over a decade. And I guess what first drew you to this opportunity?
Well, first of all, I graduated of Wakefield High School, as my wife Andrea is. We left the community after we got our undergraduate degree here at Wayne State. She went down to Omaha and received her degree in physical therapy, and I did a master's program at UNO in public administration. And for 3 years, we worked in Ashland, or I was the city administrator in Ashland. And my wife had an opportunity to come back to Wayne. At that time, the Sports Medicine Center up at Wayne State College was opening, with Reg Swanson putting in some improvements up there, and had asked Andre to come back and lead that effort. And so it was a good draw back to the community. All of our family was around here, but we had to choose where we were going to live, Wayne or Wakefield. Her parents are in Wakefield. My parents, where I grew up, between Wayne and Wakefield at the time, they're now in Wayne. And we really didn't have a tough decision to make. Nothing against Wakefield, but Wayne, when we were growing up, Wayne was kind of the envy of my wife and I both. The school system was second to none, and we were very envious of the Wayne students that were scoring the 30 plus on their ACT and getting all this recognition. And so it was an easy decision for us to locate to Wayne. I can say back to Wayne because we lived here in college, obviously, but we didn't grow up in Wayne proper. My parents are both Wayne High graduates, so they have a deep connection to Wayne. But no, it was kind of a no-brainer, and really the school system is what sold us. It was like there's again, not discounting Wakefield, but Wayne was so, like I said, we were so envious of it that we wanted to make sure our kids got the chance to go to the Wayne school system.
Yeah, it's neat how a lot of people who come here at some point in their lives, early in their lives, it seems like they get drawn back to it somehow in some way, shape, or form. And I know that you're involved with economic development here at the Wayne Chamber of Commerce, and I know that you go to a variety of functions across the region, across the state, and so you're kind of something of a spokesman for the community of Wayne America when you go out of town like that. And it's when you attend a state chamber of commerce meeting, what kind of questions do you get about Wayne America? What do you tell people when people want to know about what Wayne, Nebraska is all about?
Yeah, everybody likes to have their elevator speech. If you have 30 seconds with somebody, what are you going to say tell them about your community? And honestly, I don't have a 30-second elevator speech necessarily. It's kind of different with whoever I'm talking to. So if it's a senator, or if it's somebody that might be moving to Wayne, I change it up all the time. But my, I guess, generic spiel is that Wayne is a unique community. The college is our greatest asset, and what other community in the state of Nebraska can say they have a 4-year institution and the other things that we have? Yes, we have Chadron and Peru, but those communities are a little different. Our proximity to Sioux City and Norfolk are a huge deal. Our proximity to Sioux Falls, the airport in Sioux Falls, and the Sioux City Airport, and the Omaha Airport. I mean, that all is a very nice draw to Wayne and Northeast Nebraska. So while it's very easy to promote Wayne, I also like to promote Northeast Nebraska as a whole, because we're not going to get everybody here. Sometimes the workforce needs to come from someplace other than Wayne proper, or you may live in Carroll or Winside, but you may work in Wayne. So we got to think in different terms sometimes of we can't have everybody and everything. We have to work with others to make our place the best we can make it.
We're talking with Wes Blecke, the Executive Director of the Wayne Area Chamber of Commerce and Wayne Area Economic Development. And wanted to take a moment to talk about one of our sponsors at AKA 142 Media. And the question is, what does the AKA stand for? Well, it stands for many things, but what's most important is that the AKA 142 Media provides awesome kickin' apps that can be downloaded to your phone. Whether it's your school, your favorite youth sports program, or your local business, AKA 142 Media can build an awesome kickin' app that meets your needs. Drop Kevin an email at aka142.com and tell him that Mike sent you. That's AKA 142 Media. That's awesome kickin' apps. And we're talking with Wes Blecke from the Wayne Area Economic Development, the Wayne Chamber of Commerce. And you've been a part of the economic development effort here for a number of years. What are some of the biggest changes that you've seen over the last 10 or 15 years as far as economic development in Wayne?
The biggest change has been when I started in 2005 in the business. It was still kind of a smokestack chasing environment where you were going after those big fish, and it was impossible to land. I mean, it costs a lot of money to do that, and everybody wants to see the new jobs come to the community. We quickly changed kind of our focus to the retention aspect of retaining what you already have and growing what you already have, because it's obvious to say 100% of your job losses in your community are going to come from existing businesses. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's obvious, but it's a stat to say, well, yeah, that's true. So you need to make sure you're working on that. Nowadays, with workforce so short in not only Wayne and Northeast Nebraska, but really the Midwest, that recruitment effort is incredibly difficult, almost impossible for that, like I say, the big fish. And your existing businesses don't necessarily want you out there doing that because you're gonna be taking employees from them, or you're gonna be taking potential employees from them, unless you can get a company that's going to bring in their own workforce. Mm-hmm. That's usually very high tech. That Wayne, eventually we may get there, but right now Wayne's not known for the high tech industries. That's going to be in your Omaha and Lincoln area right now, just because of the millennial generation, things to do in those communities that, I'm sorry, we're not going to have a Division I football team anytime soon. Maybe Wayne State will get there someday, but right now, the Huskers still draw a lot of attention. And when you have businesses like Huddle downtown and those types of businesses, and then all the stuff going on in Omaha, it's tough to compete with that. So we have to decide we are Wayne, and this is what we stand for. This is what we have to offer the community. Or for potential workforce. We're still working through some of that, but we're a safe community. I mean, again, case in point, I could have stayed in the Omaha Lincoln area very easily, and my wife could have, together, and had to be working down there. We chose to come back to Wayne because of family and because of school systems and how we were going to raise our kids, and so we have to capitalize on that because we don't have mountains, we don't have a large lake close, in our backyard. There's some of those things we don't have, and we're not going to lie about it. We have to say, we've got corn. We celebrate chickens. This is what we do. And you embrace it and make the best of it. And I think we've had some success of bringing some of those people back that have Wayne ties. It's difficult to recruit somebody out of the Chicago area, let's say, to bring to Wayne that has never been here. Because the research shows that you may get them for a couple of years for a job, but they're going to gravitate back towards what they know and where they're from. Mm-hmm. Same thing why we like to go after Wayne High graduates, Northeast Nebraska graduates, Northeast Nebraska high school graduates, and then Wayne State graduates, because they know what Wayne is. They know what Wayne has to offer, and so it's a little easier sell on that side.
And I think once you've been here and been a part of this community and kind of get a feel for what this community is all about, I think, like you said, the people who have been here before, they might go to Omaha or Lincoln after they graduate, but a lot of them will come back to Wayne because of those memories that they have and what they know about the community. And a lot of those times they might get that experience in high tech jobs or something like that, and then have an opportunity to come back here at some point down the road, and maybe they can. By that time, maybe they can have businesses of their own that they can bring to town that way.
Right, and the workforce right now, especially the generation younger than I am, they are first choosing where to live. Then they're figuring out what they're going to do. Mm-hmm. Totally opposite of what you and I did. And so they're wanting the amenities, they want the recreation, they want that high speed internet. They have to have it. I mean, in their mind, they have to have all those things. And if you're going to run a business, you do have to have those types of things. So obviously, Wayne has that. Even further rural areas in Nebraska are competing because of those types of things like the internet that can bridge the gap between where you used to have to be in urban America, and now you can be in rural America and thrive as a business owner. Definitely.
And I know it's been. We've talked about some of the economic development that's going on in this community, and you've talked about a lot about retaining the businesses. And I know a few years ago we had that tornado that blew through the east end of town and really did a number on the industrial area of the community. And you kind of wondered in the aftermath of all that if how that area was going to be post tornado, and obviously it's come back even bigger and better than it was before the tornado. With the one exception being out at Pacific Coast Feather, they decided to move their operations to North Carolina, I believe, in at the end of 2013. So right now, that's about the only. I guess if you were here 5 years ago and looked at that part of town and then came back and looked at it, it's like, hey, there's something missing. That seems to be about the only area right now that really hasn't been improved on. And I guess at this point, where do you see with that area, what's going to happen to that property?
Yeah, I can't tell you what's going to happen with the property. We've had a couple of different interested parties. Right now, I've talked to two just within the last week that are interested, and so it's I'm not a realtor. I don't sell property for a living, but I just want to show them what Wayne has to offer. Williams Form Engineering came in 2012. We had a spec building at the time. Right now, Wayne does not have any buildings available for people to look at. Where bare ground is nice, companies still want to see a building. And so once Williams Form continues on with their expansion here in early 2017, I will likely be pushing the envelope a little more on we need a building. We need a building in town. Is that a private developer that's gonna step up and do it? Is it Wayne Area Economic Development who did it before step up and put up a building? The land it's in friendly hands with the city, with the CRA, I guess is technically who owns it. And be able to, you put up a building and maybe that doesn't work for that person or that business, but they come to your community, you can sell them on your community, and now they can find the right piece of property or the right building someplace else and buy something that way. But you have to have that hook to get them here. Mm-hmm. And right now, a piece of bare ground, or the ground that we have, right or wrong, how we did it with leaving the concrete as is, because that opens you up to tax increment financing. It is inside city limits, and it is definitely distressed at this point. You also have a really nice pad of concrete there, a 75,000 square foot piece of concrete that is 6 inches deep, that it's in decent shape. And so we want to utilize that if possible. That's 100,000 plus savings if you can reuse that concrete. Mm-hmm. But that also hinders you sometimes because people want to see this bare piece of property that they can build their own thing on. So it's a really tough decision of what the CRA has had to do to say we're going to leave it at this point. But again, once Williams Form adds their addition on, I'm going to be pushing for that next spec building to help recruit others to the community.
And then Williams, how far along are they on their addition? When are they going to have that finished, do you think?
They have. The dirt is sitting right now, compacting over the winter. They will start up again in the spring. Hopefully by summer they will have an additional 40,000 square feet put onto that existing 20,000 square feet.
Mm-hmm. And I remember when that building was up for sale, and it was great to find somebody to come into that spot, and obviously been a great addition to the community in that regard to bring that business to town.
Definitely.
So we're talking with Wes Blecke, the Executive Director of the Wayne Area Chamber of Commerce, and your business can be in this spot right here on the Voice of Wayne America podcast. This podcast is geared towards celebrating and promoting the community of Wayne America, and your business can be a part of the program by advertising as a sponsor right here. For more information, just give me a buzz at 402-660-9682, or you can shoot me an email at mike@mikeycproductions.com. That's MIKEYC Productions.com. And as we said, we're talking with the Wayne Area Economic Development Executive Director Wes Blecke, who's not only involved in economic development in the community, but you can also find him on the sidelines at some of the sporting events here in town. He's been a baseball coach. He coaches his son's baseball team, I think, during the summer. And more recently, he is one of the assistant coaches on the Wayne High boys basketball team. And boys basketball team, if you haven't been paying attention, they've been playing really well. They've won, I think, 6 games in a row now. Had a really impressive win on Tuesday night against Laurel Concord Coleridge. Were up big, and then they got down, and then they came back with a big fourth quarter, and then came away with a big win on Tuesday night. And I know that you're involved in coaching in on the basketball team and baseball, and so it's kind of a different side of you that people in the community get to see, other than your work here at the Chamber of Commerce. I guess what do you get out of that as far as personally, as far as being able to help coach kids in the community?
Well, first of all, I love sports. I always say I love sports, I love politics, and I play a mean hand of pinochle. Those are when people ask me, what do you do? Anyway, but I love sports. I love coaching sports. I was a decent player with baseball and basketball back in high school, but not good enough to go on and do college stuff. And I always thought I wanted to be a college coach. And so I've always had that coaching bug. My degree at Wayne State College is political science and history. And my minors are public administration, which all those 3 things go together, and coaching. I have a coaching minor. I'm not in education, but I just loved coaching, and I wanted to do that. And I coached in Wakefield for 5 years before I left to go pursue my master's down in Omaha. And then when I came back to Wayne, I coached for another couple years, so a total of 5 years with Mike Clay in Wakefield. And then my oldest started kindergarten. And I thought, well, I better not be coaching in Wakefield if my children are going to be in Wayne school system. So I approached Rocky Rule at the time and said, "Do you have any? Would you like any help? Volunteer help?" And he said, "Sure." And so this is my 9th year coaching in Wayne. I've kind of I coach freshmen. I'm really an assistant to the freshman coach, and that had been for the first 8 years Matt Schaub. And now he is with the girls, the junior varsity coach there. So this year I get to come back to Rocky Rule, who helped me get in, foot in the door when he was the head coach and coached with him. And so it's kind of funny because I say, well, I'm really the consistent one here because I've been here 9 years in a row, and our coaching staff has come and gone. Rocky obviously has lots more years of experience, but has now come back to it. So it's a lot of fun. I love coaching those freshmen. They're still in that developmental stage. And then being able to help out with the JV and the varsity as well. It's a lot of fun to see those kids progress, not only with skills, but on the court, but you can see them mature from one year to the next on, where they're giggling as a freshman and, really not caring about the sport. And then they understand teamwork and they understand what it takes to be good on a team, not just individually. And so that's really fun to see. And I've really enjoyed that. On the baseball side, I've coached baseball for probably almost as many years in some facet. I coached with Paul Eaton in Wakefield for a couple of years, played for him, and then coached with him a couple of years. And then when I was down in Ashland, I coached youth baseball for 3 years there. And I remember I had a parent come up to me and say, "Which one's yours?" I said, "None of them." I said, "Why are you doing this?" I said, "Just because I love the game. I love kids. I love being around kids." Going back, and you say, well, what could have you been in a former life or whatever? Maybe I should have been a teacher. Maybe I should have done something like that. I love what I do now. I love city government. That's what I was schooled in and have a little experience in. But yeah, if you think back, what else could you be doing? I think I could have been an educator fairly easily and working with kids.
Yeah. Well, this basketball team this year has played really well. I know they started out a little slow, but boy, since the holiday tournament, they've really played really well, and I know the game last night was really, really exciting to watch because it was 2 teams that were both ranked in the top 10 in their respective classes, and they really got out and played really well Tuesday night, I thought. Yeah,
when we play together, we're a tough team to beat. We're fairly deep, play a lot of kids in different situations and things like that. Mm-hmm. But no, we manage. For example, Tuesday night. They were down in numbers a little bit, and we're deep enough. We can wear people out because we can keep coming after them. We have a very athletic bunch of kids. Maybe not the greatest basketball players in the world. That's if you get both athletes and basketball players, you're going to be a dominant team. Yeah. But we've got very athletic kids, Just a great bunch. Work hard, and they can go a long ways this year if they stay together and keep playing well and listen to what Coach Sweetland has to say. And it'll be fun to see what happens, late February or early March.
Yeah, but Mason Lee got off that dunk last night. That was a little bit of a surprise there. I didn't realize he had those kinds of ups.
We all see it. We know he does. Didn't know if he would actually do it or not. So it was an exciting time. Unfortunately, I think we all kind of stepped back then and said, "Oh, cool, we got this." And next thing you know, they go on a, I don't know, it
was like a 13-1 run or something like that.
Big run to finish out the first quarter, but came back and played a great third quarter. Scored 29 points in the third quarter and 20 in the fourth, and sealed it up. But played well. I love that stuff. Yeah,
we're wrapping things up here with Wes Blecke here. I know we're just getting underway with 2017, and you guys are working hard with the Chamber Banquet coming up this month, and the Chicken Show will be here before we know it. And I know you got some stuff already going on that. I know the new T-shirts are already out, which is a little early this year, but they look great. And I know with the 150-year anniversary of the state of Nebraska, I know that's kind of a big deal this year as well. So I guess looking ahead to these next 12 months, what can we look forward to out of the Chamber of Commerce office?
Well, we had a lot of business activity in the fourth quarter last year. Kind of behind the scenes, people coming to me and talking about business opportunities, which you don't usually see in the fourth quarter. Usually that's when people are opening businesses. So it's kind of unique that there was a lot of activity then. I don't know what that means for first quarter of 17, but a couple of those are still talking with me. So you're going to see some fair amount of activity here in the next, I would say, 2 to 3 months, just on, nothing huge. I mean, again, that stuff, it just doesn't happen as often, and you don't have the people necessarily to fill those positions and things, depending on what it is. But these are some transition projects that maybe someone's buying a business from someone else. They're an at-home business that wants a Main Street frontage. It's an expansion of a certain part of the business they're already working at, and those types of things. Mm-hmm. And so, you'll see some activity, some different storefronts, maybe changing ownership and things like that. I'm excited to see what Williams Forum does with their expansion and how many employees that adds. They've said it could be anywhere from 5 to 15, depending on. They're looking at a lot more of automation and some of those types, utilizing technology more. And so that sometimes doesn't mean a lot more jobs. And that's, that's what people have gotten kind of in the rut of, well, how many jobs is it creating? How many jobs is it creating? Everything's about numbers of jobs. We're more concerned about quality of jobs. What is it paying? Is it a safe environment? The types of jobs now are so technological that to run a robot at a manufacturing facility, the robot can take 2 people's jobs away. But you've got to have somebody to program it. You have somebody to have to maintain it. You have so there's other jobs that are being created in this economy that are different than what, again, 10 years ago, totally different. So that's exciting. Yeah, we've got our things like the Chamber Banquet coming up, where we'll give some awards and some recognition to people. Chicken Show, the staple in the community on that. But those are some things, I guess, to foreshadow. Talking to a couple of larger businesses right now that might are looking at relocation. Those, again, are very difficult to do. You hate to even mention it to people because then they think, oh, well, we're going to get a no. 5% of those pan out. It's very, very low percentages because they're looking all over the place. A lot of times they're looking, where's the best place for me to be with incentives and those types of things. And so it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out in this first and second quarter of 17.
Yeah, and I think one thing I did want to mention on the Chicken Show is that I think the Chicken Show is one of the state recognized events for the 150-year celebration, I believe.
Okay. Did not know that, Mike, but that could very possibly be. We got a great Chicken Show committee that tries to promote, obviously, them as much as possible, and going with a theme that is state-oriented, with the 150th birthday of statehood. Our chicken, obviously, is our chicken shirts this year. He's on the Capitol. He's very much Nebraska-focused this year around. So, neat shirt. And like I said, we're trying to capitalize on that momentum of the state of Nebraska's birthday as well.
Yeah, that's 6 months away, which doesn't seem like seems like we got a lot of time, but it always seems like it just jumps up on us right before we know it. So.
Yeah, well, we know we've got to start ordering some of those concrete chickens, and there's a kind of a twist with that this year with some smaller chickens we're gonna be offering to the younger crowds. Entertainment is very much family focused, and will be very different, I guess, on Friday night. Saturday we have a local or a once local come back local person to perform there. I won't divulge any more than that at this point. But if you have any interest in joining that committee and taking part of the foul fun, they always have room for you. So just contact the office here.
Yeah, well, it's going to be an interesting 2017 in the community of Wayne in a lot of areas, including the business community. And we've been talking with Wes Blecke, the executive director of Wayne Area Economic Development and Wayne Area Chamber of Commerce. And Wes, I know you got a lot going on your plate this year, and I want to thank you for taking time to talk on the show today on Voice of Wayne America.
Oh, thanks for having me.
All right. That's going to do it for this edition of Voice of Wayne America. And again, I want to thank our guest for this week, Wes Blecke from Wayne Area Economic Development and the Wayne Chamber of Commerce. Check back to WayneAmerica.com as we continue to tell the stories of the people who make this the best town in Nebraska, if not all of America. That's right here in Wayne America. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you later.